wait a minute. Hello, everyone. You're in with us today. I'm with my pastor. He's in relaxed mode, and I tell you what, it's a pleasure just to be with him to get some of the wisdom that he's giving out. I told him he's my Elijah, and I'm his Elijah, so he ain't going nowhere without me. But welcome to God Word to You Ministry, and we're here, and you know, for the next 40 minutes or so, I mean, we're gonna get a personal, in-depth from him, the wisdom. I mean, he's been in the ministry for over 50 years, been in Sanford for over 30 years. I mean, he's seen different things, he's experienced different things, he's seen churches come and go, and now, you know, we want to talk to him personally as far as what he wants to share with us, younger guys and other ministries and whatnot. So, Pastor, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great, son.
Well, you know, it's a pleasure to finally get you like this. You're comfortable, you're kicked back. Pastor, talk to us. You say you want to talk to us about faith, but first tell us about how long you've been in this ministry and the things you've experienced through this.
I've been in ministry for over 50 years. Full time. I was in ministry longer than that, but for full time, I have not worked nowhere but for God in the Bible, preaching God's word all across the country in the foreign fields. And God has proved to me that faith works, but it's a supernatural gift. It's not just, you know, there's all kinds of faith, but I mean the supernatural faith.
Right.
To believe the totally possible that God will do what he said he'll do. And when you start walking by faith, it's not about money.
Right.
The money will come if you believe God.
Okay, Pastor, stop right there. Now, I just want to ask you a question. Now, you've been in the ministry over 50 years. Okay, now this is for y'all now, pastors, lay members, all of you. I want you to hear this. Pastor, as you're an apostle now, and you've been through the ranks, and you've seen a lot of things come and go.
And a prophet, too.
And a prophet. And he is a prophet. Tell you, if he puts it on you, you better put your money on it. But, Pastor, tell us, what makes it so, like you yourself, what makes it so that other pastors get jealous of what you do?
Well, it's in the Bible. Whenever God starts raising a man of God up, the enemy gets busy in the church. Not outside the church, in the church.
What do you mean as far as they see what you're doing and just can't comprehend what you're doing?
And don't want to pay the price.
Okay.
See, it's hard to say, but it's right to say.
Please explain that when you say don't pay the price. Tell them about that.
Because when God gives you a gift, it comes from heaven. It don't come from no mother or father, nothing like that. It comes from heaven.
Yes, sir.
Not that mother and father have a part in
now, sir,
right?
Explain to them about the gift. Because, you know, some people don't understand all of this terminology right here. So explain to them about the gift that comes from heaven.
The Bible said the gifts, the calling of God without repentance.
Right. So
the point is, you're born with the gift.
Yes, sir.
See, my mother always told me, preachers are not called, they're born.
Right.
They're born to be that, but God called them after they mature.
So you're telling me as a young boy, you did strange things that people couldn't understand.
That's right. And said strange things too.
Right.
And my mother said, where you get that from? I said, I don't know. But the point is, if you're born, my mother taught me, preachers are not called, they're born. Then they're called after they're born to preach, and when God called them, it's time to go forward.
Okay.
See, my mother told me I was born in a sack. Right. In New York City in 1932, and the doctor had to cut me out the sack.
Yes, sir.
He didn't know what I was. And them days, you're born in the house,
right,
the hospital.
Right.
And he had to cut me out the sack. And I said, where's the sack? My mama said, I don't know what he did with that sack, but he had to cut you out of the sack.
And that's called cesarean now, in this time.
That's
Back
right.
then, it was a sack.
Yeah.
Now, Pastor, let's go to the other part now. Okay, you bring through ranks, you're a young man, and I want you to explain to them because, see, a lot of people think that you were just preacher all the way through. Tell them that you went through some things.
Ooh, my God. I as a young I was wild as a teenager.
Oh, no, you weren't, Pastor.
Ooh, God. I never went to jail, but I didn't get caught. That's all
right.
But I was wild. And that's why I'm not hard on TJ. I know what I was.
Right.
My father died when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
And I was out of control after that, after I got older.
Right.
And my mother, you know, she had two more children besides me.
Right.
And I was a wild teenager, going to drinking liquor. You know, I never got into drugs. But, 3 bears.
Yeah.
Why?
Now see, this is what I want you to see. Now this is a man of God, but still, he is still a man. He went through things. So as going through ministry, don't get in there passing it when you get saved all of a sudden you way up here.
Oh no.
You can't do that because we're still human.
You're gonna suffer.
That's right.
You gotta be trained. And one thing, God gonna break you. See, we all got pride and arrogance, and you gotta be totally 100% broken for God to speak through you.
Now, Pastor, can you explain that broken part? Now, you know I know about that, but they don't know what you mean by broken.
When God break you, that means he got to break you. You look like a box. Got a lot of stuff inside the box.
Right.
Got to cut the box open to get the stuff out.
And he's talking about your, what, attitude, your personality, your pride, and all that malice and stuff, backbiting.
Hate and anger and jealousy, backbiting. Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
All that stuff is born in you.
Right.
The Bible says we're born in sin and shaped in iniquity.
Okay.
So it comes from being disobedient. From Adam, go way back to Satan. So we're born in sin. You're born a sinner.
Right.
So that stuff come from heritage.
Okay.
And so not because your family's bad, you just born. It's heritage from the world.
Right.
And so when God raised you up, he got to clean you out first.
Yes, sir. And
I'm not being graphic, but if you sick years ago, if I had a cold, I wouldn't let Mama hear me call. She'd get the castor off, Mama.
I never had no, but I heard that stuff was rough.
Yes, sir. Man, I'd be coughing outside. You got a cold? No, I'm all right. That's why I said, come here, boy. Big old
my goodness.
But it worked.
Right.
But the point is, you don't hear much about that now. But the point is, you're born in sin.
Yes, sir.
So you're not born saved or righteous. You're born in sin. And God got to clean you out before he fill you up.
Woo. Now, y'all get this. Now, this is wisdom, right? They said a man with gray hair. Now, that's pure wisdom right there. And I'm with him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Pastor, okay. Now, we're going to get back to that and understand we're going to touch on all kinds of subjects, but it's some things that he wants to share with you that it's going to touch your heart. Pastor, let's go back to the part that you say you was growing up a young man and without a father because he died.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, myself, you know, I grew up without my father. A lot of the men out there grew up without a father. And not only the men, but some of you ladies.
That's right.
And you're hurting from what your father did.
That's right. It's not your fault. You're hurting because you're bored. You never had a father that loved you.
Right.
And you never had no love in the house sometimes.
Right.
And so you went outside looking for love in the streets.
Right.
And you can't find love in the streets.
So women that, as they say, you know, some women try to find a man that's like your father. Is it because they was hurt?
Yes. They leave home hurting.
Okay.
They leave home looking for love outside the street.
Ooh.
If you don't find love in the house, in the family, you're going to be messed up.
Okay, now let's change it around. What about women that do find men and they don't listen to what that man say because they have an anger for what their father did? We're going to be right back. Okay, we're back, and I'm talking to Apostle Samuel Thomas of True Apostolic Deliverance Center, And I tell you, this is a man of full wisdom. He's been in the ministry 50 years, married for 62 years. And you know, Mother Ann Thomas, she was a great woman. And I tell you what, a lot of things we can learn from him. I know there's a lot of things we can learn from him from the marriage point of view. But we're going to get back into what you were talking about, Pastor, as far as the spiritual warfare, about things in the church, how to deal. I mean, people come to church with a lot of problems.
That's right.
You know, when they come in the door, they expect that in the church you can let loose and be free. But a lot of times they don't feel that in the church because they're so bogged down with, you know, the heavy spirit on them. Right. Explain that to us.
Well, you know, when you're hurting, and medicine don't stop it.
Right.
Therapy stops it.
Yes, sir.
But even the man of God got to understand when he preaching to you, he can be abusive.
Right.
Really, I'm going to say this. Every preacher should have a doctor's mentality.
Uh-huh.
Because your members are your patients.
That's right.
And you got to treat them like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be abusive and not be kind and gentle, understanding. And I'm going to say this. It may sound shocking to some of you. If you're going to be a preacher to lead people,
yes, sir,
you got to pay a price yourself.
But you know what, Pastor? A lot of preachers now, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but a lot of preachers now ordaining themselves to be the man of God, but they ain't been called to be.
That's right. And they ain't been through nothing.
Yeah.
You got to be broken. Like we talking about, be purged.
Yeah.
Because you got stuff in you naturally. You're born in sin, shaped in iniquity, so some stuff is in you because the devil saw to it that you put it there when you were born. Woo! But God had to purge you and break you and clean you out. And then when God clean you out, you can discern other people's problems.
Right.
And you can talk to them and help them. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to shock some of you. Some problems not solved by medicine.
Right.
It's solved by therapy of love and kindness and gentleness and patience. A lot of folks, they don't need not much of medicine for their nerves. They need somebody to love them and be kind to them.
Okay, stop right there. Mm-hmm. Now, well, I just want to touch on this a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because we're going to do marriage on the next time I have them on here. But Pastor, just a little bit. Now, what you just said, the love. Now, with the marriages, they're hurting so much because there's confusion in the house.
Right, yeah.
You know, and the man against the woman against the man,
right,
and they just don't see eye to eye. Mm-hmm. You've been married for 62 years. Right. You lost your wife this year,
right,
you know, February 14th, and Mother Thomas was awesome. Mm-hmm. She was a woman of God.
Yeah.
But you went through a lot of things in your marriage, but y'all managed to work through them.
That's right.
Can you talk to us about that?
That is a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, we were 62 years. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It wasn't no perfect marriage. We had all kinds of storms in our life. I mean, and I lost a lot of battles too. Yeah. I didn't win all the battles.
Right.
But I realized it was a lesson.
Yes, sir.
I learned something. You can't abuse a woman and expect her to love you back.
Ooh, just say that again, Pastor.
You can't abuse a woman and expect her to love you back.
Now, can you explain that abuse? Now, they don't mean physically.
No,
It could be verbally.
Verbally, you can't talk down to her. Women are not designed like a man.
Right.
You can talk to another man and he's all so.
Yeah.
But when talk to a woman, talk to her nasty and put her down.
Yes, sir.
She may not cry in front of your face, but when she get by herself, she'll cry.
Ooh.
And then she'll say to herself, "He don't love me. Cause if he loved me, he wouldn't talk to me like that."
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. See, a man is supposed to be a lover.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is a receiver. A man is a giver. A woman is a receiver.
Yes, sir.
Or she receiving negative stuff and abuse. That all the love is driven out of her.
So, and I can speak on this because I made a mistake. So trust me, what he's telling you is true. Mm-hmm. Now, when a husband done got to that point, he done lost interest in it, and all of a sudden he's got to work all the time. Okay, now you know what I was getting at.
Go ahead.
Talk about it, Pastor. When he start dipping out.
All right. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna shock some of y'all. Some men don't love a wife, but from waist down.
Ooh.
But from waist down ain't good as from waist up.
Oh Lord!
I know.
Don't y'all get mad now. Don't get mad at me. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm gonna say it again. some men love a woman from waist down. And don't realize from waist up is most important.
Yes, sir.
From waist down is just a pleasure.
Ooh.
From waist up is every day, every day, every day, every day.
So, Dad, if you give that woman your heart, she gonna give you the world.
That's right. And you all have no problem of going from waist down. Well, you gotta be honest.
Yes, sir.
But you know, some women say, all you care about sex, all you care about sex.
Right.
Well, women feel degraded about that.
Right.
But
Okay.
one woman said to me, I can tell when he wants sex because he's nice all day.
Ooh.
After we have sex, he like Credible Hook.
Oh my goodness.
That shouldn't be.
Yes, sir.
You be nice and kind and gentle to her 24 hours a day.
Okay. Now, you just touched on the part. I said we weren't going to talk about this, but I got them going now. Now, men in the church that are married, okay. Now, I've seen a lot that, you know, we get so spiritually minded that then the love life is not in the church women no more.
Right. I understand what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. The Bible don't lie. Husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Now, if you don't love your wife, you can't love the church.
So that means, Pastor, even though y'all saved, you still got to take out the dinner. You still got to open the door for her. You got to court her the old-fashioned. Court her.
You got to court her. All you did to get her attention, you got to do to keep it.
So what you did to get her, you got to keep doing it to keep her.
And you got to add to it. I was married 62 years to the same woman. I had to add to that. For 62 years, I had to add. And I could tell when she was upset about something.
Right.
And I tipped around the house. I did. Because I didn't want to get her, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And deep down inside, she was hurting.
Right.
I'm going to say this to y'all.
Go ahead, Pastor.
When you marry a woman that's been hurt by abused by a father, you got a problem.
Talk to him, Pastor. Talk to him.
You got a problem. And once you know her background, then you know how to treat her. If she's abused by her father, you can't marry her and abuse her. Now, you should never abuse her to start with. But when she comes from an abused home and marry a man abusive, that's double trouble.
So that means anything that you do negative that reminds her of what...
Just like my daddy. I just like my daddy. Reminds her. That's right.
Ooh, Lord.
And she get angry and bitter.
So she remember what her daddy did to her mama.
Right. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. I knew what my wife's father was. Right. He wasn't a good man.
Yes, sir.
Stayed in trouble. And I determined I was not gonna put her through what she went through as a child. Right. And so I was good to her. Now she passed away. You know what she told my children?
What's that?
If I hadn't married your daddy, I wouldn't have had nothing. Ooh. She never told me that.
Yes, sir.
But I felt so good that she told the children that.
Yes, sir.
Because children love the father on the basis of the mother.
And you know what? I can truly speak on that from his grandchildren to his grandchildren to his children. Yeah. They love this man because he did right.
That's right.
You know, he was I've heard it many times, and I've seen it from when they were small. He has been an absolute model to his children, and not many fathers do that. You know, you make sure education was there.
Yes, sir.
Because you made sure everybody went to college.
They had to get more than I got. That's right. They had to finish high school. They had to go to college. Because, see, with all they got college and high school stuff,
yes, sir.
Now it helps me.
Right. That's right.
Because, see, when I was in high school, it wasn't like what they learn now.
Right.
And so it's so different.
It is.
So the point is, as long as I forgot.
Right.
As long as I got them, I ain't got no problem.
That's true, because now you got the internet, you got this going on
That's
and
right.
that going on,
That's
and
right.
everything has changed. So now education is coming to you.
Yes, sir.
But what you gave to them to push them,
that's right.
Now it's coming out more.
And you know what? And what they have learned, I wasn't taught that.
Right.
But now I'm getting it from them.
Right.
So when I got a problem, I call them up. What's so and so? Oh, Grandpa, so and so and so. I said, what are you doing now? I ain't doing nothing. I've been there about 10 minutes.
Right.
Then they come with the typewriter. All that stuff. Just like you do.
Yes, sir.
And they record stuff. And so it's a blessing to me.
That's right.
And my daughter is my church secretary.
That's right.
And when she was in high school, and finished high school, I said, you got to go to college. What am I gonna take up? I'm gonna take up secretary work and bookkeeping.
That's right.
She said, why? I said, one day I'm gonna have a ministry at full time, and you gonna be my secretary.
And she definitely works for the ministry, Miss
And she worked for the ministry.
Thomas.
I don't want no other woman in my office but my daughter.
Okay, tell her why.
You work, don't bother me now. I'm ready to roll now. But I know what happened when a man got a secretary. It's not his daughter or his wife.
Yes, sir.
The desk become the bed.
Ooh.
This may sound graphic to some of y'all, but you need to hear this. I'm an old 80-year-old preacher. I've been out here for 50-some years preaching. I've seen preachers fall when they had a secretary in the office with them. This is a true story. It may sound graphic, but can I tell it?
Yes, sir. Hey,
the preacher one night went down to church, see about some business. It was about 8 o'clock. The wife said, "How do you do it tomorrow morning? It's 8 o'clock at night. I got to go take care." He said, all right. So he went down to the office. It left at 8 o'clock, go in the office. 9 o'clock, 9:30, still wasn't back.
Right.
She got curious. Jumped in her car, went down to the church office. He had the secretary on the desk.
Ooh.
And messed up his life. See, and I said, when I heard that story, I said, I don't want nobody in my office that not my daughter or my wife.
Right.
And right now, I've been in the ministry 50-some years, and the only people not with me in my office is my daughter and my wife.
Yes, sir.
My wife is gone now, I got my daughter. But the point is, preacher, you have to protect yourself.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say this. I've been there a long time. I've seen the secretary fall in love with the pastor and make a mess.
Amen. And
she got a bad, I'm going to tell you something. When your wife leaves home hurting, she's vulnerable to society.
So all it takes is just somebody just to wink.
All a man can do is take and wink and say, you all right, darling. Don't cry. She fall into his arms. Because she left home hurting. See, that's why children get in trouble.
Right.
They leave home, angry and bitter. I got a story to tell about this young boy that came home from school one day. The mother wasn't married. Well, that's normal nowadays. And when he got home, his mother was sitting in the boyfriend's lap. So he been in school all day, so when he come home, he hit the icebox.
Right.
We all do that. He come home, walked in the door, over the icebox, and the man, said, "Shut that door, boy. You ain't got nothing in this house." Excuse me. He slammed the door and walked out the house. Went down the street and killed the woman. Mad with his mama. That his mama knew what time he come from school.
Right.
And she had more sense to sit in her boyfriend's lap, and he walked in the door and she sitting in the man's lap. And the man gonna tell him, "Get out the icebox, boy."
Because you know what? Now in society, we got more single mothers that are single with children.
That's right.
And it's such a drastic matter because men prey on that.
Yes, sir.
And if the kids don't like the man, something ain't right.
You got that right.
But the woman is so much that she wants somebody there, and she wants to wake up with somebody to be helped, that they're not, even church mothers that got kids in the church, still they want somebody to love them. Can you?
A woman is made to be loved.
Yeah.
Every woman wants love, regardless how young or old they are. They want love.
Right. And
a man's job is to love them. The Bible ain't nowhere in the Bible. God said, "Woman, love your husband like Christ loved the church."
No,
He said, "Man,
That's right.
Love the woman like Christ loved the church." So a man is the image of God.
Right.
A woman wasn't made in God's image. She was made after Adam. But you and I were created in the image of God.
Pastor, I've always been curious about this because the Bible said, "Man, love your wife." It didn't never say, "Wife, love your husband."
No.
So that means, as a man, we've got to earn that love.
You got to. You got to.
See, I've been learning off of you.
Shake my hand, but now you got to earn that love.
You got to earn it.
And by how you earn it? By being kind and gentle and understanding and compassionate. and do all you can to give her all you can afford to make her happy. And you earn that love.
Mm.
Now watch this. Once you earn that love, you gotta work twice as hard to keep it.
Ooh.
See, you can't.
So just because you bought them flowers, that's it.
You bought the house, bought a car,
You're
bought
still
the flowers,
going.
and you gotta keep doing stuff to earn that love.
Right.
Now, to earn love, you don't mean to have to buy stuff, but be good to her,
Right.
be kind to her, be compassionate to her.
Okay.
And be gentle to her.
Mhm.
Don't abuse her and talk nasty to her.
Mm.
Like I said a few minutes ago, when you won't have sex, you be good to her.
Right.
You treat her like a prostitute. You can't do that.
Mm. Good God.
You got to love. You got to be kind and gentle, you know. My mother, I saw my father abuse my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 8 years old. Now here I am, a young boy. You know what I said to myself? I would never treat a woman like that.
Right.
Never. And now I'm about 8 years old now, but I know no marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But I said I'll never treat a woman like that.
Just for watching what was going on.
Well, yeah. And my wife can tell you, I never abused her. She always got what she wanted. And then one day she said, I buy stuff for her. She said, I ain't asked you to buy that. Yeah, but I heard you say you like it. She said, you know what? I'm going to stop telling you what I like.
That's Mother Thomas, huh?
Yeah. Everything I tell you I like, you're going to end up buying it.
But you know what? Both of you, Pastor, were like one penny, 1 quarter, because you felt her and she felt you.
Yeah.
You know, and that is just so romantic.
That's right.
To find it in the marriage, even at the what 70s, you know, going on 80. I mean, but now you see the marriage. After 6 months, they get no annulment.
You know, I'm going to say this. It may sound shocking. You know why so many women fall in love with another man? And the other man treat them better than the husband.
Ooh.
They live in a house of abuse.
Now, I think you need to say that to the men one more time so they hear it right. The married men.
You abuse your wife in the house. When she go to work, she get involved with some other man. Because the other man got to treat her nice, and you treat her like a dog. You can't do that. That's why some men do it. Let me tell you something. I'm an expert on marriage.
Yes, sir. I know you are.
Never been to school for it either. But I've been through it. That's why so many divorces.
Yes, sir.
A man, when you have a woman's body, you got her life.
That's right.
I mean, let's be honest. You got her whole life. You done took her everything. And
I've never seen it that way.
And then mistreat her like a dog. You can't do that. You had her body. You took her body and everything. You loved. You know, she had baby from you, and you're gonna abuse. You can't do that.
Yes, sir.
You gotta treat her like gentle
yes,
and
sir.
kind. Husband, love your wife, and I love the church. Here's my ticket. Now, most men, I'm talking to you, brother. Most men don't know how to love a woman.
Oh, Lord.
Or you love from waist down.
Because they never been taught.
They ain't been taught to love nobody.
Oh, my God.
Now, I pastor a church, and I preach in my church all the time.
Yes, you
know,
do.
I tell people, you know, you go to college, you got to major in the minor.
That's right.
Marriage is my major.
It is.
But the point is, when you abuse a woman, you drive her to the arm of somebody else.
Yes, you do.
But you treat her nice, and she'll love you.
You know, something I found out too, and that since we're on this, I'm gonna keep on going. I found out that a lot of women have been hurt so much that they scared to open up to somebody else.
That's right.
And even though he might be good, still they feel like they're gonna get hurt.
That's right. And you get a hurt, bruised woman, she's bitter. And then she get involved with a man. He treats her nice and real good to her. It's gonna take a little time. Then he heals her.
Right.
And when she healed, then she fall in love with her.
Okay.
See, a lot of women scared to love a man.
Right.
They've been hurt so bad. not hurt by other man. They said they father hurt their mother.
Right.
And you know, I'm gonna tell you something. A little girl don't forget stuff.
That's right.
Every little girl ought to see the father hugging and loving the mother, and the boy too.
Right.
You have to train them that way. Now, if you grow up to be a man and mistreat a woman, all you doing is messing up your destiny.
Ooh.
And don't fall out your seat now. Don't fake. When you mistreat a woman, you're mistreating God.
Oh, Lord.
Ain't that something?
So you don't. So in other words, you messing up your blessing.
You're messing up your blessing in your ministry. When you mistreat the woman, you're mistreating God.
Oh
Because
my God.
God made Eve for Adam.
Not Steve for Steve.
That's right. But the point is, God took a rib out of Adam and made a woman.
Yes, sir.
And gave her to a woman. To
Boy,
Adam.
tell us that little trick you said about the woman.
What's that about?
When he made the woman.
Okay.
But when he said woo man.
Yeah. When he saw, he said, "Ooh, man." But the point is, God said she's a woman. But Adam said, "Ooh, man." He got turned on time he saw her.
That's right.
Because she was naked.
That's right.
See, there wasn't no clothes.
That's right.
So when Adam woke up with, he said, "Whoa, man."
Okay, Pastor. Now let's get to a very serious point. You know, in the past several weeks, you've been talking about how we've got to live right because, you know, things are so much rough right now, and people losing houses, people losing jobs, you know, the suicides,
Yes, sir.
you know, different things are going on. And you're telling us, you know, as far as the parents, make sure you pray for your children before they get on the school bus.
You made a good point there. Suicide. Suicide going to increase all across this country. Why you see? Because some folk can't stand the stress and pressure. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. If you learn to pray, y'all didn't hear me. If you learn to pray and put God first, suicide won't come in your life. You got to learn to pray and trust God. And while we're on this program, I'm not asking about the money, but be a good tither.
Yes, sir.
I have not worked over 50-something years, and I've raised all my children, sent them all to high school and college, but I'm a faithful tither.
Now, Pastor, as far as that, now, go to the part where it says that, you know, as being the head of the house, a man, he should show that prayer part.
Yes, sir.
So the rest of you explain that to him.
He got to be a prayer example.
Okay.
He got to be a prayer. My children, I used to pray on the house and lay on the. See, I got out the bed. I had a big house. I get out the bed and I go in the hall and lay on the floor.
Yes, sir.
And my children, I ain't never children heard me pray. My wife was hear me sleeping, but my children, I'd be in the prayer and they said, Daddy, and they're praying. But then again, I had me some awe. Right. And they sleep. I know they were awe in the sleep. Little spot. They wake up.
Greasy.
Who put that all on me? Yeah. Who put that? My dad up in here. But I did it every night. And God blessed them. Right. They didn't get in a lot of trouble. And they finished high school, went to college. And I ain't never been rich. But you know what? I worked hard to see to it they had what they needed.
But you've been rich in what?
In faith.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Rich in faith.
And that example is so important because that's what gonna keep the families together even more now.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we was watching the program yesterday on the History Channel, and they was talking about Doomsday this year.
Yeah, sure was. I saw it. Yeah.
And I mean, people don't really, you know, they probably see a program like that and be thinking, oh, that's, you know. But the thing is, you've been telling us for several weeks now, this is gonna be a bad winter.
A bad winter. It'll be the worst ever had. Even the weatherman gonna be shocked. Watch and see. Be shocked. The last week of September is gonna start. They're not gonna end until maybe the first week in let's see, not March. But the point is, it's gonna be the worst winter in history of America. Watch and see.
And Pastor, you've been telling us if you got oil, get your oil straightened out, get your stocked up with your groceries, non-perishable goods.
That's right.
I mean, he's just not saying this because he wants to say it. He speaks to God. He spends time. Trust me, I'm around him. He's around God.
That's right.
So I mean, anything that a prophet tells you, you might as well get ready for it. It might not happen when he says it's gonna happen, but you can best believe it's getting ready to happen.
A prophet is called in the Old Testament called seers. What do you mean? They see stuff coming that you don't see. Right. They see it. They see down the road. You see, and a prophet is a seer. Now, a lot of people don't believe in prophecy now. Right. But that is the only ministry that's gonna survive these next few years. So you know, may not be a prophet or prophetess, but believe in it.
Yes, sir.
You ain't got to have it, just believe in it. The Bible said, believe the prophet.
So a lot of guys now that are getting to this ministry thing, all they're really seeing is the money and the house, but they don't know what you went through.
They don't know what you. So I'm glad you said that. God had to break you. See, God is a jealous God.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want nothing in you but Him.
Right.
Now you want God to come in. You got jealousy and hatred and you're lustful and bitter and angry and won't forgive nobody.
Right.
God can't come to you like that. You got to be empty for God to come to you. And when God coming to you, the Bible says God's a jealous God.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something. Anything God gets jealous over, He kills.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. Anything God is jealous over, He kills. So if God's jealous over you and your husband, your children, you better watch out.
Ooh. Oh.
There's a dissonance behind anything you put before God. The Bible said, "Thou shalt have what? No other God before me."
Before me, that's right.
So
that means don't put your children as God. Don't put your wife as God. Put God first, and
God
then
first.
Everything else.
Anything you put before God, God killed it.
Oh my God!
So He may put it for a while and warn you. He may warn you, but after a while, God said, "You know what? You ain't gonna listen." Bang.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. He said, "So I've been there. I know."
Yes, sir.
So you got to put God first, and if God not first, He get jealous. And it's bad to fall in the hand of a jealous God.
There you go. I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah.
That's a sermon that I still remember you preached it several years ago, and the way you preached it and you told it to everybody, that God is just jealous.
He's jealous, that's right.
He don't want nothing else before Him.
The Bible said, "Thou shalt have no other God before me."
Right.
Because God's a jealous God. So when you put your children and husband before God, you put your money before God, you in trouble.
And all I can think about is the scripture that says, "Seek first,
yes, sir,
the kingdom of God
first." Yes, sir.
And everything else will be added."
See, a lot of y'all gonna miss that. Yeah, look at me a husband, look at me a wife. That ain't what you need. You need God.
Right.
Seek ye first. And then when you get God, God will show you who your husband is. You know why so many divorces? Because you married for looks.
Yes, sir.
You didn't marry for character.
Right.
And personality. You marry a man because he's a man.
And plus, he or she is coming with that baggage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
That they ain't got rid of yet.
They ain't got rid of yet. And you marry her and the baggage too. And then you got to put up with it. But you really, God ordained marriage.
Yes, sir.
But He didn't ordain shacking.
Right.
He didn't ordain no try it out. God ordained marriage for be fruitful and what? Multiply. But you can't multiply if you ain't living right with each other, or you destroy your children.
Yes, sir.
You see, so you got to realize.
Because the children watch that.
Sure
so if they
do.
see mama shacking with somebody,
Ooh,
then that means they can do it.
They see daddy shacking with somebody too. Daddy coming home drunk, daddy come home abuse the wife, all that kind of stuff. You got to be careful.
Right.
Why did I stay with my wife 62 years?
Mm-hmm.
She stayed with me. I was good to her.
Right.
I wasn't perfect now.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't either. But I was quick to forgive.
Right.
And she forgave me too.
And you know what, Pastor? That's I'm still working on that.
I know.
You know, a lot of us, we still hold on to those things that hurt us.
Yep.
And Trent still trying to work with it. You know, because I tell to God every day, please help me. You know, so that's the part right there that a lot of people, I'm not talking about the outside, but I'm talking about the people in the church, they still hold on to that hurt. They've been done by somebody, a family member.
That's right.
Somebody they've been married to.
That's right.
The kids.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
even church members.
Yeah. You got. Let me say something. Church is a good place, but it can be a dangerous place.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. A lot of folks are in mess today because they got hurt in church.
Right.
And they never thought the church would hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you got a bad shepherd. Smite the shepherd, the sheep are scattered.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes you got a bitter. I'm gonna say something to you preachers, and we wind this up. We about through, right?
Mm-hmm.
if you can be a preacher, you gotta get yourself full of. You can't walk around full of anger and hate and jealous.
Ooh.
And don't try to out-preach nobody. This ain't no preaching contest. This is judgment work. And you realize you're passing people, and the shepherd. You know why David was so great? He loved the sheep. David took care of sheep. Now he wasn't perfect, but God raised up David because David was a good shepherd. And a pastor ain't nothing but a shepherd. And you are the sheep.
Okay, Pastor, can I say this?
Go ahead.
So those sheep are not his.
They're not his.
Ooh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Give me 5 on that, boy. The member's not yours.
And that church is not his.
The church ain't yours. God put you in there to take care of his sheep.
Ooh.
And when you don't take care of God's sheep, you in trouble.
So that means, I might get in trouble if I say, so that money not yours either.
It ain't not, you ain't got nothing. All you got is God.
Oh my God.
Now, let me tell you something. I ain't been on a job for 50 years.
Right.
And I learned something. If God took my job, then he was responsible for me and my family.
That's right. That's right.
So I had to relax. I said, God, well, all right, now you told me I was dying.
Yes,
I was dying in the hospital.
Yes, yes, sir.
And my doctor, Dr. Francis Owen, told me you got 1 year to live. I heavy smoking, heavy drinking. I'm a teenager. And I said, God, I don't want to die. Because I want to raise my children. Because I grew up fatherless. God says, okay, you don't want to die? You get out of the hospital, you stop drinking, you stop smoking, and go home to your family. And I'll heal you. I got to the hospital, and when that 1 year was over, I was somewhere preaching. God healed me, delivered me, and I was 27 years old. God healed me, delivered me, and took my job, and I took care of my family.
And you know what, Pastor? From what you did and what the seeds you had planted, I mean, you see it now, you can relax.
That's right.
You know,
that's
we're going to close this out, and I want him to give you a good word. You know, he just turned 80. It's still his birthday. And, I mean, this man has lived a good life. You know, like he said, things, you know, were kind of shaking him now and then. But still, he came through it because he's a believer of faith.
That's right.
Pastor, talk to us, and, you know, we're going to get out of here. And just tell the young man something.
You just said a believer of faith. I believe God's word.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you can read the word. And I'll tell you what chapter to read, what the book read, the book of Hebrews, about the 11th chapter. Now, the whole Bible is the book of faith, but the Hebrew 11th chapter is a faith chapter. And you read it by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, Abraham, by faith, Moses. Read that, keep reading it over and over. The same faith that Moses and Abraham had, you're supposed to have. I got the same faith that Abraham had.
Yes, sir.
Abraham left his father and left everything. And then went where God said go. And came back and became a rich man.
And you are rich in faith.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. May God bless you and may God keep you rich in faith. And I promise you, you have trust God and do what God said do. God will bless you and overflow you with blessings, saith the Lord.
Pastor, tell us one more thing before you go. You said being 80, you had to do what? Treat people older, good. Yes. So when you got older,
yes, when I was young, I treat old people nice. Cause my mama said you be old one day, and you program to treat you. So you treat people nice, so you get old one day, folks treat you nice. so I ain't got no problem. I'm a happy old man.
All right. Look, we're gonna leave. I had a nice time with my pastor. We're gonna do this again, and I just happened to catch him while he's relaxing. And I tell you what, it's been wonderful. I hope you got something out of this. And honestly, if you want to come by the church, it's True Apostolic Deliverance Center at 117 West Main Street here in Sanford. You can call the church, 919-774-9715. And you know what? Come and hear this man of God. And I tell you, we give a good service. And you're going to learn something because he's just not going to be up there talking to you. He's going to be telling you something. What you heard now is what you're going to hear then. All right, y'all be blessed. And I'll tell you what, we'll see you next time on God Works in You Ministry.